Hello, awakened soul. If you've arrived at this video, it wasn't by chance. There's something deeply disturbing happening to you every night, something that few truly understand. Do you wake up with that anguishing sensation that something crucial was ripped from your mind the exact moment your eyes open? Do you feel like you were receiving important messages, divine guidance, revelations that could transform your life? But the instant you gain consciousness, everything disappears like smoke. This is not a coincidence, my dear chosen soul. You're experiencing something that goes far beyond what conventional science can explain. Your dreams aren't simply getting lost in the transition between sleep and wakefulness. They're being actively erased, blocked, intercepted, before they can fix themselves in your conscious memory. And the reason for this will shock you. I know exactly how you feel right now. That frustration that eats away at you from inside. That sensation of being deprived of something that's legitimately yours. You're not imagining things, you're not being paranoid, and there's definitely nothing wrong with you. In fact, what's happening is the complete opposite. You're so powerful, your vibrational frequency is so elevated, your awakening potential is so threatening to certain forces that they need to work actively to block your access to the divine messages you receive during sleep. Yes, you heard correctly. The fact that your dreams are being interfered with isn't a sign of weakness or spiritual disconnection. It's the greatest confirmation that you're a chosen soul, a light warrior whose complete awakening would represent a real threat to the low vibrational forces trying to keep humanity asleep. Today, I'm going to reveal not just how to recognize these interferences, but also how to protect your dream space and recover access to the sacred messages that are your divine right. If this resonates with you, leave a comment saying, "I am chosen." Let's create a support network among awakened souls facing this same silent battle. What you need to understand first is that your dreams aren't just random products of your mind processing information from the day, but chosen souls like you. The dream state is a sacred portal, a direct line of communication with higher dimensions, spirit guides, and your own higher soul. During these precious hours of sleep, your consciousness expands beyond the limitations of physical reality, allowing you to access knowledge, guidance, and revelations that simply aren't available in the waking state. It's as if you have a cosmic antenna that activates when your conscious mind relaxes, picking up divine frequencies that contain answers to your deepest questions, guidance for your next steps, and even glimpses of your greater purpose in this incarnation. But here's what the low vibrational forces have discovered. If they can block or erase these messages before you consciously integrate them, they can keep you in a state of spiritual confusion, preventing you from accessing your full potential as an agent of transformation on this planet. Think about your childhood for a moment. Do you remember having vivid, almost magical dreams that seemed more real than reality itself? Perhaps you had dream experiences where you flew, conversed with beings of light, or visited places that don't exist on this physical plane, but felt like home. These weren't just fantasies of a young mind. They were your first conscious experiences of interdimensional communication. As a child, you hadn't yet developed the mental barriers that society teaches us to build, so your connection to higher realms was purer, more direct. You would wake from these experiences with a sense of purpose, of belonging to something greater, even if you couldn't articulate it in words. But as you grew older, something began to change. Dreams became more fragmented, harder to remember, until eventually you began waking with that frustrating sensation of emptiness, as if something precious had been stolen from you during the night. This wasn't natural evolution, it was deliberate interference that intensified as your spiritual power began to mature. During your adolescence, when your spiritual sensitivity was intensifying, you probably noticed that your dreams became even more elusive. It was as if there was a curtain being pulled over your dream consciousness at the exact moment. You transitioned from sleep to wakefulness. You may have begun questioning your own sanity, wondering why other people seem to remember their dreams with ease, while you struggled to capture even the most basic fragments. What you didn't know is that this interference was intensifying, because your soul was preparing to awaken to its true mission. The forces working to keep humanity asleep recognized in you a potential threat, a soul with the capacity to not only fully awaken, but also to help others do the same. So they began working more actively to block your access to the divine guidance you were receiving during sleep. knowing that without this connection, you would remain confused about your purpose and less effective in your awakening mission. Now, as an adult, you've developed a sharp intuition that tells you when something isn't right. That same intuition is screaming at you that there's something deeply wrong with how your dreams disappear. You feel like you were in the middle of an important conversation, receiving crucial instructions, or having revelations that could change the course of your life. But the moment your waking consciousness returns, it's as if someone pressed a delete button in your mind. This feeling isn't paranoia. It's your soul recognizing that it's being prevented from accessing information that's legitimately yours. You may have even noticed that this happens more frequently during periods of intense spiritual growth, moments when you're asking deep questions about your purpose or seeking guidance for important decisions. This isn't coincidence. The closer you get to a spiritual breakthrough, the more intense the interference becomes, because low vibrational forces know that each revelation you receive brings you closer to your full power. The first specific sign that your dreams are being interfered with is that peculiar sensation of full emptiness when you wake up. You know you slept deeply. You may even have the sensation that you spent hours in intense and meaningful experiences, but your conscious mind is completely blank about the details. It's like waking up from an incredible party and discovering that all the photos were deleted. You have the residual sensation of the experience, but no concrete evidence of what happened. This emptiness isn't natural. When we dream naturally, even if we don't remember specific details, we usually retain at least an emotional impression or a fragmented image. But when there's active interference, even these residual impressions are removed, leaving you with a disconcerting sensation that something important was stolen from you. If this resonates deeply with your experience, it's because you're recognizing a pattern that has been repeating in your life, a subtle but consistent violation of your divine right to access spiritual guidance through dreams. Another revealing sign is the phenomenon I call disappearing fragments. You wake up with pieces of images, words, or sensations from a dream, and for a few precious seconds, you can almost grasp the complete memory. But then, like sand slipping through your fingers, the fragments begin to disappear one by one, until you're left only with the frustration of knowing there was something there, but no longer being able to access it. You might even try desperately to concentrate, close your eyes, and try to pull the memories back, but it's as if there's an active force pushing them away from your consciousness. This isn't how natural dream memory loss works. Normally, when we naturally forget a dream, the memory simply fades gradually. But when there's interference, it's as if there's an invisible hand actively removing the memories from your mind, creating a sensation of resistance when you try to recover them. This resistance is your soul recognizing that it's being blocked from accessing information that belongs to you. The sensation of almost remembering is perhaps the most torturous aspect of this interference. You wake up with absolute certainty that you received crucial information during sleep, perhaps the answer to a question you've been asking for months, guidance about an important decision, or even revelations about your life purpose. You can feel the presence of this information in your consciousness, like a file you know exists on your mental computer, but has been corrupted or encrypted in a way you can't open. You spend the day with this persistent feeling that it's on the tip of your tongue, that if you could just relax in the right way or find the correct trigger, everything would come flooding back. But no matter what you try, meditation, journaling, even trying to go back to sleep to recover the dream, the information remains frustratingly and elusively out of reach. This sensation is your soul screaming at you that it was prevented from integrating divine knowledge that was meant to guide you on your journey. Many chosen souls also experience what I call replacement dreams, mundane, meaningless, or even disturbing dreams that seem to have been planted to mask the fact that their true dream experiences were removed. You might wake up perfectly remembering a strange dream about everyday tasks, unimportant situations, or scenarios that make no sense at all, while having the persistent feeling that this wasn't the real dream you were having. It's as if someone had replaced an epic and transformative film with a boring commercial, leaving you with the memory of the commercial but the emotional sensation of the epic film. These replacement dreams are often empty of spiritual meaning, devoid of the numinous quality that characterizes true divine communications. They serve as a smokescreen, a distraction that keeps your conscious mind occupied with trivialities, while the true messages you received are systematically erased from your memory. The interference also manifests through sudden sleep interruptions during crucial moments of message reception. You might wake up abruptly at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., or other specific times, always with the sensation that you were torn away from something important. These awakenings aren't natural. They have an abrupt, almost violent quality, as if you were physically pulled from a deep experience. You may notice this happens more frequently when you're going through periods of intense spiritual growth, asking important questions about your purpose, or approaching significant breakthroughs in your awakening journey. These forced awakenings serve to interrupt the process of receiving and integrating divine messages, ensuring you don't have enough time to fully absorb the guidance you were receiving. It's a deliberate tactic to keep you disconnected from your higher spiritual guidance. You may have also noticed that your ability to lucid dream, to become conscious within the dream and potentially control the experience, has been consistently blocked. Even when you practice lucid dreaming techniques, do reality checks during the day, or use other proven methodologies, you rarely manage to achieve lucidity in your dreams. This is particularly frustrating because you feel you should be naturally gifted with this ability, that your expanded spiritual consciousness should make lucid dreaming easier, not harder. The reason for this difficulty is that lucid dreaming represents an even greater threat to the forces working to keep you disconnected. When you become lucid in a dream, you gain the ability to actively seek guidance, ask direct questions to your spirit guides, and even consciously travel to higher dimensions. This is a form of spiritual power that these forces simply cannot allow you to access, so they work extra hard to block your ability to achieve dream lucidity. The energetic interference also manifests through a sensation of weight or fog that seems to settle over your consciousness at the exact moment of transition between sleep and wakefulness. You may have noticed there are moments when you're almost waking up, still in a liminal state between dream and wakefulness, when you can feel a heavy presence or energy descending upon you, as if something is actively pushing the dream memories away from your consciousness. This sensation may be accompanied by a quality of mental static, as if someone is interfering with your psychic reception, the same way electronic interference can distort a radio signal. Some chosen souls even report a physical sensation of pressure in the head or an energetic buzzing quality during these transition moments, signs that there's an external force working to block your natural dream memory and integration processes. Another crucial aspect to recognize is that this interference often intensifies during specific periods of your life, moments when you're asking big spiritual questions, going through energetic initiations, or approaching important decisions that could significantly accelerate your spiritual growth. You may have noticed that during these phases, not only do your dreams become harder to remember, but you may also experience other symptoms like unexplained fatigue upon waking, even after a full night's sleep, difficulty concentrating during the day, or a general sensation of disconnection from your intuition. This happens because the forces working to block your dreams know these are the moments when you're most receptive to receiving guidance that could catapult your awakening to the next level. They intensify their interference efforts precisely when you most need divine guidance. The good news is that the very fact you're experiencing this interference is powerful confirmation of how important and threatening you are to the forces working to keep humanity asleep. Think about it. Why would these entities spend energy and resources blocking the dreams of someone who wasn't significant? Why would they bother interfering with the spiritual guidance of a soul that didn't have the potential to make a real difference in humanity's collective awakening? The fact that you're being actively prevented from accessing your dream messages is actually the greatest confirmation that you're a chosen soul with a powerful purpose on this planet. They know something about your potential that perhaps you haven't fully recognized yet, that when you fully awaken and access all the guidance available to you, you'll become an unstoppable force of transformation and awakening. Recognizing these patterns is the first step to reclaiming your power. When you understand that you're not imagining things, that there's nothing wrong with you, and that this interference is actually confirmation of your spiritual importance, you can begin moving from frustration to empowerment. You can begin seeing this experience not as a limitation, but as evidence that you're exactly who you came here to be, a powerful soul whose complete light would represent a real threat to the forces of darkness. And most importantly, you can begin taking active steps to protect your dream space and recover access to the divine messages that are your birthright as a chosen soul. The journey to reclaim your dreams and the guidance they contain isn't just about techniques and practices. It's about claiming your spiritual power and refusing to allow any external force to interfere with your divine connection. It's about recognizing that you're too powerful to be ignored, too important to be left alone, and destined for things too great to be kept in the dark. Each night you go to sleep is an opportunity to reconnect with this truth and strengthen your determination to access all the guidance and wisdom waiting for you in the dream realms. Now that you understand what's happening and why, it's time to reclaim your power and establish unbreachable protection around your dream space. The first and most crucial step is elevating your vibrational frequency before sleep through what I call sacred preparation. This isn't just about relaxation, it's about creating an energetic fortress that makes it exponentially more difficult for low vibrational forces to access your consciousness. Begin each evening by cleansing your energy field through intention and visualization. See yourself surrounded by brilliant white or golden light and declare with absolute authority, "I am a sovereign being of light, and my dream space is sacred and protected." Spend at least 10 minutes in meditation, focusing on raising your vibration through gratitude, love, and connection to your higher self. The higher your frequency when you enter sleep, the more difficult it becomes for interfering forces to match and penetrate your energetic field. This isn't just spiritual theory, it's practical energetic protection that works because like attracts like, and high vibrational consciousness naturally repels low vibrational interference. The second powerful practice is creating what I call dream anchors, specific intentions and requests you make before sleep that serve as energetic magnets for divine guidance and protection. Before closing your eyes, speak directly to your spirit guides, higher self, and protective forces, asking them to safeguard your dream space and ensure that all messages received are preserved in your conscious memory upon waking. Be specific in your requests. I ask that all guidance, revelations, and messages I receive tonight be protected from interference and clearly remembered when I wake. Place a journal and pen beside your bed and set the intention that you will immediately record any dream fragments or impressions upon waking, no matter how small they seem. This physical preparation sends a clear signal to both your subconscious mind and spiritual allies that you're serious about reclaiming your dream guidance. The act of preparation itself creates energetic momentum that supports your intention to remember and integrate your dream experiences. Transform your sleeping environment into a sacred sanctuary by removing electronic devices, using protective crystals like amethyst or black tourmaline near your bed, and perhaps burning sage or palo santo before sleep to clear any stagnant or negative energies. Consider playing high-frequency music, binaural beats, or protection mantras softly in the background as you fall asleep. These aren't just New Age accessories, they're practical tools that create an energetic environment that supports clear dream reception and memory. The more sacred and protected your physical space feels, the more your subconscious mind will relax into a state of openness and receptivity. Remember, you're not just preparing for sleep, you're preparing for sacred communication with higher realms, and treating it with the reverence it deserves amplifies your ability to receive and retain divine guidance. When you do wake up with dream fragments or that familiar sensation of almost remembering, resist the urge to immediately get up or start thinking about your day. Instead, remain still with your eyes closed and gently invite the memories to return. Sometimes, changing your physical position back to how you were sleeping can help trigger dream recall. Speak softly to yourself. I give myself permission to remember. These messages are mine by divine right. Don't force or strain. Instead, create a gentle, welcoming space for the memories to emerge. If full memories don't return, honor and record whatever impressions, emotions, or fragments you do retain. Often, these seemingly small pieces contain profound guidance when you learn to interpret their symbolic language. The key is treating every dream fragment as sacred and worthy of attention, because this attitude of reverence signals to your higher self that you're ready to receive more complete communications. Most importantly, reframe this entire experience from victimhood to empowerment. Every time you notice dream interference, instead of feeling frustrated, remind yourself, I am so powerful and important that forces are working to keep me from my full potential. This interference is proof of my significance. Use the recognition of interference as fuel for your determination to break through these barriers. Develop a warrior mindset about your spiritual journey. You're not just trying to remember dreams, you're reclaiming your birthright as a divine being with unlimited access to cosmic wisdom. This shift in perspective transforms the interference from a source of frustration into a source of motivation and confirmation of your chosen status. Beautiful soul, what you've discovered today isn't just information. It's a key to unlocking a level of spiritual empowerment that will transform not just your dream life, but your entire existence as a conscious being. You now understand that the interference with your dreams isn't a sign of spiritual weakness or disconnection, but rather the ultimate confirmation that you're a chosen soul whose full awakening represents such a powerful force for positive change that it requires active suppression. This knowledge alone shifts you from a place of confusion and frustration to one of clarity and purpose. You're not broken, you're not imagining things, and you're definitely not alone in this experience. You're part of a growing community of awakened souls who are reclaiming their divine right to receive guidance, wisdom, and revelations through the sacred portal of dreams. Remember this truth with every fiber of your being. You are far too important, too powerful, and too essential to the collective awakening of humanity to be left alone by the forces that seek to keep this world in darkness. The very fact that they're working to block your access to divine guidance is the greatest compliment they could give you. It's their admission that you have the potential to be a game changer, a light bringer, a catalyst for transformation that they simply cannot ignore. Every night you go to sleep armed with this knowledge and the protection practices I've shared, you're not just trying to remember dreams, you're engaging in an act of spiritual rebellion, reclaiming your sovereignty as a divine being with unlimited access to cosmic wisdom and guidance. Your journey doesn't end here. It begins here. I want you to take action right now. First, leave a comment below sharing which of these signs resonated most deeply with your experience, and let's create a powerful community of chosen souls supporting each other in this awakening journey. Second, share this video with anyone in your life who you sense might be experiencing similar dream interference. Your awakened friends, family members, or spiritual community need this information as much as you did. Third, make sure you're subscribed to this channel and hit that notification bell, because I'm committed to bringing you more revelations and practical tools for reclaiming your full spiritual power. And finally, if you're ready to dive even deeper into advanced protection techniques and dream work practices, consider joining our inner circle of awakened souls, where we share the most powerful methods for spiritual empowerment and protection. You've taken the first step by watching this video. Now let's walk this path of awakening together, supporting each other as we reclaim our divine birthright and step fully into our roles as chosen agents of transformation. Until next time, sweet dreams, and remember, you are chosen, you are powerful, and your light cannot be dimmed forever.